The world's economy is a complex system, intricately woven with countless threads of commerce, finance, and human endeavor. It connects billions of people across the globe, creating a vast network of interdependence and exchange. But it's not a system of equality. The disparities within this system are stark and often glaring. The gap between the rich and poor is vast, a chasm that seems to widen with each passing year. This disparity is growing at an alarming rate, fueled by various socio-economic factors and policies. Many factors contribute to this economic divide. From the exploitation of labor in developing countries to the high-stakes trading floors of Wall Street, the roots of inequality run deep. Globalization, technological advancements, and government policies all play a role. These elements, while driving progress, also exacerbate the divide. However, at the heart of the issue lies a simple truth. Money, in its current form, is often used as a tool for control and exploitation. The concentration of wealth in the hands of a few leads to power imbalances that affect every aspect of society. This reality is evident in the stark contrast between the world's wealthiest individuals and those struggling to survive. The opulence of the rich stands in sharp contrast to the destitution of the poor. While a select few amass fortunes beyond imagination, billions grapple with poverty, lack of access to basic necessities, and limited opportunities for upward mobility. The dream of a better life remains out of reach for many. This economic imbalance is not sustainable. The growing unrest and dissatisfaction among the masses are clear indicators that change is needed. It threatens the fabric of our societies and undermines the very foundations of a just and equitable world. To build a future where everyone has a fair chance, we must address these inequalities head-on, fostering a more inclusive and balanced economic landscape.
Money, in its purest form, is a medium of exchange. It was created to facilitate trade, to make it easier for people to obtain the goods and services they need. But over time, it has become much more than that. It has evolved into a symbol of success, a measure of worth, and a tool for influence. It's a source of power, wielded by those who have it to shape the world according to their interests. It's an instrument of control, used to manipulate markets, policies, and even entire nations. And it's often used for harmful purposes. The pursuit of money can lead to unethical behavior, exploitation, and injustice. Across the globe, we witness how the relentless pursuit of wealth fuels conflicts, corruption, and environmental destruction. These issues are interconnected, each one exacerbating the others. Powerful corporations prioritize profit over people and the planet. They cut corners, ignore regulations, and exploit resources without regard for the long-term consequences. Governments and individuals engage in corrupt practices for financial gain. Bribery, embezzlement, and fraud are rampant, undermining trust in institutions and eroding the social fabric. The arms trade thrives on money, perpetuating violence and instability. Conflicts are prolonged, and peace becomes elusive as profits are made from the sale of weapons. Natural resources are exploited at an alarming rate, driven by greed and a disregard for the environment. Forests are cleared, rivers are polluted, and ecosystems are destroyed in the name of profit. These actions have devastating consequences. Communities are displaced, livelihoods are lost, and the most vulnerable suffer the most. They exacerbate poverty, displace communities, and undermine global security. The cycle of poverty and conflict continues, fueled by the relentless pursuit of wealth. They highlight the dark side of money and its potential to erode the very values that hold our societies together. But amidst the darkness, there is hope. Communities are coming together to fight for justice, to rebuild, and to create a more equitable world. The challenge is immense, but the human spirit is resilient.
The 21st century has witnessed an unprecedented concentration of wealth. A small percentage of the global population now holds a disproportionate share of the world's assets. This trend has far-reaching implications for our societies. The widening wealth gap is not merely an economic issue, it's a social, political, and moral crisis. It undermines democracy, erodes social cohesion, and fuels resentment and instability. As the rich get richer, their influence grows. They exert disproportionate control over political processes, shape public opinion through media ownership, and dictate the rules of the economic game. This concentration of power in the hands of a few threatens the very foundations of a fair and just society. It creates a system where opportunities are limited and social mobility becomes increasingly difficult for those not born into privilege.
Despite the overwhelming evidence of growing inequality, there's a concerning lack of awareness and action. The gap between the rich and the poor is widening at an alarming rate, yet many people seem to be either unaware or indifferent to this pressing issue. Many remain oblivious to the plight of the less fortunate. They go about their daily lives, sipping their lattes and shopping for the latest trends, without a second thought for those struggling to make ends meet just outside their doors. Others choose to ignore the issue, content in their own comfort and privilege. They attend exclusive events, live in gated communities, and enjoy the luxuries that their wealth affords them, all while turning a blind eye to the suffering of others. This societal ignorance is perpetuated by various factors. Education systems often fail to adequately address social inequalities, leaving many unaware of the systemic issues at play. The media, too, plays a significant role in shaping public perception. The media often fails to accurately portray the realities of poverty and inequality. Sensationalist headlines and biased reporting can skew public understanding, downplaying the severity of the issue and diverting attention away from the root causes. Political discourse is dominated by those who benefit from the status quo, silencing the voices of the marginalized. Wealthy politicians and lobbyists have a vested interest in maintaining the current system, often at the expense of meaningful change. Furthermore, a culture of individualism and consumerism encourages self-interest and a disconnect from the struggles of others. People are bombarded with messages that prioritize personal success and material wealth over community well-being and social responsibility. We become desensitized to the suffering around us, prioritizing our own needs and aspirations above the collective good. This desensitization is a defense mechanism, allowing us to navigate our daily lives without being overwhelmed by the harsh realities faced by so many. This lack of awareness and empathy is a significant barrier to achieving economic justice. Activists and community leaders work tirelessly to raise awareness and advocate for change, but their efforts are often met with apathy or resistance. It allows the cycle of poverty and inequality to continue, undermining the well-being of our societies and the planet as a whole. Addressing these issues requires a collective effort, a shift in mindset, and a commitment to creating a more equitable and just world for all.